Jude Duarte could slay me with her sword and I would thank her, okay? Hello friends, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. So, something for 2020 that I'm changing up a little bit is I'm going to be doing my monthly wrap-ups every month instead of every 2 months because I'm going to try to read more in 2020 and hopefully doing a wrap-up video at the end of every month is going to be more motivation than every 2 months, so it feels like I have to read more. However, with that goal in mind, I started 2020 off strong. I was ready to read lots of books every month. My goal is still 50 books this year, but hopefully I'm going to achieve it this time. But then, like, I don't know about any of y'all, but like 2020 has just not been it so far. We got like the coronavirus, World War III, Donald Trump impeachment, like I don't know what's going on with the world, but something is not right. So with this negative energy in mind, I may have only read 3 books this month, but hey, 3 is better than 2. So we love looking on the positive side, alright? I am really happy to say, however, that these 3 books that I did read are actually all really strong books, and I am really excited to talk about them with you all today. One thing I also want to mention for these wrap-up videos is I'm probably going to do a mix of TBRs as well with them. So at the end of this video, I'm going to also talk about some of the books I want to read in February and future reading plans, etc., all that kind of stuff. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump on into this wrap-up video. First, before I mention any of the books that I have finished, I'm going to talk about one that I'm currently reading. I'm reading it by audiobook and it is called All Rights Reserved. I am about just over a quarter way done, I believe, and it's promising. There are some problems I have with it already, but it is promising and I am interested in seeing where the story continues to. So I'm reading this book because I have this video idea I want to do in February, so maybe by seeing a little bit of my February TBR as well, you can maybe guess what it is. Nothing I would fully recommend as of right now, but who knows, it could still surprise me. The first official book I finished in 2019 is The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Cruel Prince trilogy, or the Folk of the Air trilogy, whatever you want to call it, and I have to say I loved it. Jude Duarte could slay me with her sword and I would thank her, okay? I don't want to say too much of what this book is about because it is the second book, but it is amazing. I gave the first book 4.5 out of 5 stars and I gave this book the same rating. I honestly don't know which one I like more. I think maybe this one might be my favorite because Jude Duarte, the main character, honestly has my heart. She is the coolest person I have ever seen, and the way she manipulates everything and is... I just love the story. The plot in this book advances a lot too, and plot twists and betrayal that we see is so well done in this book and is talked about a lot, and so the themes really come out. And I definitely think Holly Black's writing is one that I really love and can really get a sense of her crazy high intense fantasy worlds really easily. So I think that's something to be just in awe about as well. Overall, I really did enjoy it. I think the only reason I didn't give it 5 stars is because I didn't declare it like my all-time favorite reads, but it was basically there. Honestly, I kind of forget a little bit about it, but I just know that this book was amazing. Cardan? I mean, we love seeing some more stuff from him. All the moments we see between Jude and Cardan are kind of just, they're all like flirty but all like serious at the same time, and I just am dying every single time I see them together, and I just love seeing their relationship build and build more and more with each book. And so, talking about that, the next book I read was The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, which is the finale in this trilogy. And I did not like this book as much as I liked the other 2. I believe I gave it 4 to 5 stars. I would definitely not declare this book my favorite in the series. Probably The Wicked King would be. If you've read the book too, you know the ending and how it relates to like the cover per se, I feel is just a little bit whack and kind of out there, but like she pulls it off in the end. I do love the way this book ends off, and I think it does seal the trilogy pretty nicely and pretty well. And like I was saying with Jude and Cardan, I love how their relationship develops even further in this book, and if you like their relationship like together, like not romantically but just them together, I don't know how to describe it. I think this book really has a lot of good payoff and you see a lot of interesting moments between them and all that kind of stuff. So all I can say is that this series is absolutely amazing. It is one of my all-time favorite series and I would highly recommend it if you enjoy like high intense fantasy worlds, fairies, magic, and just a lot of manipulative behavior. I have to say this trilogy would be for you. I loved it and would definitely consider rereading it sometime in the near future. And lastly, the last book I read in the month of January is Caraval. The reason I decided to read this book is because Caitlin and I made this kind of like goal thing in 2020 is to try to read each of our top 6 favorite books of 2019, and this was one of hers. And so originally I started the audiobook for this in the summertime but did not end up finishing it or coming close to, but I ended up listening to the audiobook again and then purchasing the physical books. But I listened to the audiobook and really enjoyed it, and I have to say this book, the way it gets your emotions going, and the fact that it's all a game is just really weird. So remember, it's all a game. But I love the main character, Scarlet. I love her point of view, and I really love the character development we see from her over the course of the book. Probably some of the best I've ever seen, to be honest. I love her sister Tella and like the points of view we get from her, and how this book also ends on a cliffhanger, and just how everything in the story is so magical but also chaotic but also not at the same time. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. This book I gave a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I absolutely loved it. And I've heard that each book kind of gets better as the trilogy goes on, so I am really excited for that. So overall, like I said, I would also recommend this trilogy to you as well, even though I've only read the first book. But if you love magic and a lot of character development and characters, and just like an adventure story mixed with like an emotional journey, I definitely think this book is gonna be really good, because the relationships we see in the story and how they grow and progress over time I think is really cool. There's a mix of sisterly bonds, family bonds, romantic relationships. I just think it's just really well done. So yeah, these are the 3 books I read in the month of January, all to which are really good. If you feel like escaping any of your, I don't even know, reality, these books are great because they do exactly that. That's kind of all I have to say for the reads I read in January, but now I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm hoping to read in February. And is this realistic? I don't know, but like we're going to try anyways. So a quick glance of everything is these 5 books. We have Sorcery, oh my god, Sorcery of Thrones, A Court of Thorns and Roses, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, and All the Bright Places. Spoiler alert of videos coming for February that I'm hoping to make. All these books here are going to be in a video featured sometime in February that's not a wrap up, so they actually have a purpose in videos that are upcoming. So that's why I want to read all of these. Will I actually read them all? I don't know, because I have not read 5 books in a month in like 6 or 7 months, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm putting this out into the world saying that I will do it, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. That's the only way to do. All the Right Places is a book I read I think 3 years ago and literally cried during half of the book. Like literally half of the book I was crying. There's a Netflix movie coming out at the end of February, and so I'm really excited because I want to read this book before watching it to see like how my opinions have changed on the book and also if I like the movie. My friend and I have been talking about this movie coming out for years now, so the fact that we're finally going to be able to watch it is so exciting, and I cannot wait. Next, I want to read To All the Boys I Loved Before and P.S. I Still Love You because the Netflix movie is coming out for this book and I also want to remember what happens, so I'm going to be reading these 2 books in preparations for that. And finally, A Court of Thorns and Roses and Sorcery of Thorns. Who knows why I'm reading them? You'll have to wait and find out. But these are both like high intense fantasy worlds, and I'm really excited because if they're anything like The Wicked King and Caraval, you know, I love me some fantasy magic stuff, so I'm hoping I will like these as well. And yeah, that is all the books that I hope to read in February and a little bit of my upcoming plans and such. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's more of a quicker one, but I just wanted to put all these thoughts out there into the world, and hopefully in February I will be able to read those 5 books, and so I have more things to talk about with you all then. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned and your thoughts on them. I know for one that I had a pretty great reading month in terms of books that I enjoyed when I read. I enjoyed all of them that I read. So I'm hoping that the next month contains the same. Anyways, I will see you all very soon in a new video. So until then, bye.